Welcome back to League One predictions. We are back with week 2 of the 24-25 season, and look who's back again. Benjamin Bloom. Hello, friend. How are you?
I'm good, Matt. You kind of put the fear of God up me last week, saying how round 1 is such a wild card. We did okay, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Should we get straight into the score results from last week?
Yeah, definitely this week, yeah.
Yeah. We're using the same point system that myself and Benjamin Bloom are going to be using for our championship predictions this season on YouTube. It's 1 point for a correct outcome, home, draw, away, 3 points for the correct scoreline, and 4 points for the correct scoreline if you were brave and went for 5+ goals. And with all of those results put together, Ben, it's meant that it's Matt 8, Ben 9. You got 2 bang on, with Stevenage winning 1-0 and Stockport winning 2-0. And you did get an out there shout back in Crawley to win. I did back Exeter to win, and then my bang on scoreline was Bolton to win 2-1. And we were both quite close with Wrexham, saying there'd be quite a few goals as well, didn't we?
There's a couple of close calls. Do you know what? I was watching that Birmingham game where I said they're going to score in the 87th and 91st minute. And they scored in the 87th minute. I'm like, this is going to be the best prediction ever. But they didn't get the second goal, did they?
I know. I was just about to pick you up on that. You deserve a point for that, because you did say the 87th and then the 91st minute.
Yeah.
And as it went into stoppage time, I was like, oh my gosh.
He was watching it going, please don't score. Please don't score. Ben's never going to shut up, yeah?
But you still won overall, Ben. So you are just
thank you.
After week 1. Before we get into week 2's predictions, guys, the support last week was amazing. A lot of you are happy to see myself and Ben collabing, so please make sure to show your support. We're going for 1,000 likes. Do make sure to subscribe, and I will link Ben in the first link of the description. Make sure to get involved if you've not checked Ben out, but by the sounds of it, you all have. Subscribe anyway. Let's get into the predictions, Ben. We start with a London derby. It's Charlton versus Leyton Orient, and I'm already kicking myself, Ben. Charlton, with Nathan Jones, they got an away 1-0 win last week. We should have seen it coming. He always did that with Luton. We both went for a draw against Wigan. It's a great start for Charlton. As for Orient, they started at home to Bolton. They did just lose 2-1 with a late goal. Slightly leaning towards Charlton for this one. What about you?
Who's up first, Matt? Do I reveal?
I'll let you go first, Ben.
Okay. Yeah, so I agree with you. Obviously, we're high on Charlton after the great start. We thought it'd be difficult for Orient against Bolton. I didn't think they'd lose, did I? But they did go under. So I've got to make Charlton favourites this locational as well. It's going to be tight, as you say. It's a derby. Maybe Charlton by 1. You got the Nathan Jones theory going. Both teams to score. Let's go Charlton 2, Orient 1.
And there is my first scribble of the video, Ben.
Love it.
I think there will be a little bit more in this than the last Charlton game. But seeing as you've taken that 2-1, and I just think Charlton will do it by 1 goal, I will revert to a Nathan Jones 1-0 win again.
Smart.
I just think if they can hit the ground running here with 2 wins from 2, they'll be in good stead. And, you know, we've said they're definitely in that discussion for the playoffs this season. It's not a pushover. We do rate Orient and Richie Wellens, but we'll both go for Charlton on that one. Share your thoughts, guys, in the comments. Let's move on to Shrewsbury versus Peterborough, Ben. They were both losers last week. Both failed to get on the score sheet. So massive opportunity to bounce back. You know, both will be looking for the 3 points. Shrewsbury with the home advantage, and Peterborough, if they're going to be a top team, you know, need to start picking up points again. Maybe you could put Peterborough's performance down to the fact they were playing a very good Huddersfield, and they have had a busy window. Maybe a couple of players do need to gel there. I do tip them to win this one. We've both backed Shrewsbury to struggle a little bit, and that result against Stevenage maybe reflects that. I'm going to be boring and go for another low-scoring one here, Ben. I'm going to go Shrewsbury 0, Posh 1.
Yeah, so I don't have Shrewsbury winning this. I've either got Peterborough still spinning the wheels a little bit and drawing, or them bouncing back and Shrewsbury going 2 for 2 defeats. Being you've gone for that, I'll go for the other eventuality and a very unhelpful draw, and Peterborough, like you say, busy window to take a few weeks to get going. So I'll go Shrewsbury 1, Posh 1.
There you go. Then we're going for a win to Peterborough and a draw. Share your thoughts on that one down below, guys. Like I say, both sides could do with a pick-me-up result. On to the next one, Ben. This could be interesting. Blackpool versus Stockport. I'm sure there'll be quite a few Stockport fans in that away end at Bloomfield Road. Blackpool, Ben, as you sort of anticipated, they slipped up at Crawley on the opening day, which was obviously a great result for Crawley. We'll come on to them later. And Stockport, we both backed them to win. And Ben, you got the 2-0 prediction correct. They looked very good. And do you see that goal from Louis Barry as well? It was an incredible goal, wasn't it? What a great start to League One life for Stockport.
I love that goal because it was both very S-housey, long ball, flick it on, and then brilliant with the lob at the end. So it had both sides of maybe lower division football. Right. I don't want to get carried away here. I think it'd be easy to get carried away with this one, with Blackpool losing and Stockport winning on first week. There's still, remember where Stockport came from and where Blackpool came from. So it'd be very easy to go all in on Stockport. Would be very fun to go all in on Stockport. Let's go for the draw. I know you like a Desmond, Matt, so I'll throw the Desmond at this one. Blackpool 2, Stockport 2.
Yeah, I like that. I think you're right. It's very difficult week 2 predictions because, like you said, some people could just go off the week 1 results. So in a way, it's just as difficult as the week 1 predictions. But you're right. I mean, Blackpool will be looking to bounce back. But what a result it would be if Stockport can make it 2 wins for 2. I think they were just in total control against Cambridge. It looked like the game was done by half time. And I'm going to go for it, Ben. I'm going to go for it. I'm on the Stockport train here. Blackpool 1, Stockport 2. Maybe another goal for Louis Barry. But we've both said how much we like this journey with Dave Challoner that they've been on. And who knows where the final destination is. But, like you said, Critchley will be looking for a reaction with Blackpool. Share your thoughts, guys. I'm going Blackpool 1, Stockport 2. On to the next one, Ben. Cambridge versus Crawley. I think at the start of the season, we've both anticipated they might be down there this season. But it's Crawley who got off to the better start. A great win against Blackpool. And we said, although, I didn't back them to win, we said it's those games at home, get a result there, and they've got a chance of staying up because it's very hard, isn't it, with 4 teams going down.
Oh, very, very much so. And I'm just really pleased to get an actual shock, being the other shock I got completely the wrong way around. But I'm going to listen very carefully to what you're going to say on this one before I react. Yeah,
so I'm going to kind of echo what you just said for the Blackpool game. I know Crawley won last week and Cambridge lost, but I'm going to go for the home win here. They've got to get back to winning ways, Cambridge. It'd be a pretty disastrous start for Gary Monk to lose these first 2 games to 2 teams that have just come up. I will go Cambridge 2-1.
I've got to double down, haven't I? Surely, if I had my best pick last week was Crawley, wouldn't it be amazing if they went 2 for 2 when I've predicted them to finish bottom as well? So I'm going to do it. It won't please me. I'm a Gary Monk fan. There you go. I've got my excuses in early, but let's go for. I can only see them doing it by a 1-0, but would be incredible to see Crawley 2 for 2 when we talked about all the rich teams at the top there, wouldn't it? Cambridge 0, Crawley 1. Sue me.
Oh, I love that, Ben. I love that. There you go. Share your thoughts, guys. Ben's going for Crawley again. On to the next one. Let's go to the John Smiths as Huddersfield Town take on Stevenage. This is 2 winners from last week. Now, I think before the season started, we both had Huddersfield and Birmingham as our top 2. Birmingham, we'll come on to them later. They drew, but it's a great start for Huddersfield. Really good, convincing win away at a very top League One side.
I've got that uncomfortable feeling, Matt, where I think this one's an easy prediction. I think it's a nailed-on home win, which never, ever ends well. I said, didn't I? I was wrong. I said Barnsley and Mike Duff took a while to get going. Could that be the only thing? Nope. Straight at it at Peterborough. Brilliant win. So we got to take into account that we don't think Shrewsbury are going to be great this season, and Stevenage beat them at home. So I've got to back Huddersfield, Matt. And should we go all in? Should we stick the boot in? Huddersfield 3. And Stevenage can score a set play, aren't they? Stevenage 1. 3-1 Huddersfield.
I love that. You're going for goals. Yeah, do you know what you said last week with Stevenage, though, which is very true? They have that bit of residual from Steve Evans, and maybe that's what carried them through. And if they have quite a bit of residual from Steve Evans, they might be able to come and get a shock result because that's what his team was all about. Yeah, you make Huddersfield strong favourites. Great start, with Duff. Can they make it 2 for 2? It's a really big opportunity. I'm going to double you up here, and I'm also going to go for 2 goals difference, but I'm going to go 2-0 to Huddersfield. I'll go for back-to-back 2-0 wins, and they'll keep that great defensive record going for another week. But yeah, fair play to Stevenage, and your prediction from last week, it was Elliot List's goal that got them the 3 points, and it's those games, once again, if Stevenage are going to stay away from trouble, it's the home game against Shrewsbury. You make sure you win. Don't want to say this is a free hit because they might get something, but it's a very difficult one on paper. Next up, Ben, Lincoln City versus Barnsley. Lincoln, I said they'd win, and so did you, but I said it'd be a low-scoring game because they were built on a great defence last season. They conceded less than 1 goal per game, and then they go to the Pirelli, and it was 3-2. And then we both couldn't have been much more wrong with Barnsley, I guess, because they lost at home to Mansfield on the Friday night. What say you on this?
Yeah, it's the worst case scenario for Barnsley, weren't we? We both sort of saying we thought, I like Darryl Clark, but we thought it was a interesting appointment. And I was doing, what was the championship game, Matt? I was doing Blackburn Derby, and everyone's firing in the chat, oh, Mansfield goal disallowed, Mansfield 1-0, Mansfield 2-0, and you're like, what's going on at Barnsley? So, yeah, I'm sitting back and expecting you to call a home win here, Matt.
I'm tempted to. Now, like I said, last week, my prediction was that Lincoln, as I say, were built on this great defence, and then it proved to be the opposite, and there was loads of goals. But I'm going to stick with that mantra, and Barnsley need to get moving, need to get something here. I'm going to play my 0-0, Ben. I'm going to go Lincoln 0, Barnsley 0. Maybe Barnsley just get going with a point.
Yeah, I don't dislike that, actually, Matt. Yeah, you sometimes do that, don't you? Batten down the hatches, new manager, just say, just going to get the clean sheet and build from that after a poor result. In which case, if you're taking the draw, sorry, Barnsley, should we stick the boot in? Let's go for. I mean, you mentioned last time about Lincoln's end to last season. If we're tacking that onto the start of this season, then essentially we can say they're in great form, can't we? Lincoln 1, Barnsley 0.
Oh, there you go. It's a bit similar to the, I think, Stevenage Shrewsbury game last week. We've got 1 goal between 2 predictions there in that game. Maybe not the mouth-watering matchup. On to the next one, Ben. Let's go to Mansfield versus Burton. Both sides involved in really good games last week, of course. In fact, they played the teams we've just spoken about, Lincoln and Barnsley. Mansfield, what a start. Really good start. I said that I think they might be League One ready just because they've been knocking on the door for the last few seasons to get into League One. That said, I didn't predict they'd win. But a big opportunity to make it 2 wins from 2 against a Burton team that lost to Lincoln, Lincoln are a good team, but Burton might have a few players still gelling, as we've said. They had a busy window.
So the problem I've got, Matt, is that you're probably now, with Mansfield being at home, edging towards them being favourites. But how can I sit here and I'm predicting Crawley winning, I'm predicting Stockport, and I'm predicting Mansfield all the time? All the League Two promoted sides can't be winning every week, can they? We're getting to Wrexham as well. A big Nigel Clough derby, isn't it? Yeah. Right, I'm going to try and eke out a bonus point here. And I am going to go for another high scorer with Burton. Should we go 3-3 or should we go 3-2? Let's go 3-3. Why the hell not? Mansfield 3, Burton 3. Goals.
Yeah. Well, do you know what, Ben? I've obviously written down my predictions and I've gone for the bonus point here as well.
Oh.
I'm piling in on Mansfield.
Incoming 0-0.
That's it. I'm just piling in on Mansfield because of the goals they scored last season. The fact they were 2-0 up after 15 minutes at Barnsley. Could have been 3-0. As I said, they had a goal disallowed. I'm going to go Mansfield 4-1.
Wow.
I'm going to go in hard here, and I think Mansfield might have that, like you said, carrying on strong from last season, I suppose, and take that momentum into this season. Gives them as good a chance as any as avoiding the drop and finishing possibly mid-table. So I'm going to go all in on Mansfield here. So we've got 11 goals between our two predictions, which is crazy.
Ridiculous.
Ben, let's go to Sixfields. It's Northampton Town versus Exeter City. Great result for Exeter last week. I went for them to beat Rotherham. Didn't get the scoreline on.
Yeah.
But one thing you said when I said I think Exeter will win is you said Steve Evans will combust on the touchline, and he didn't want to shake Gary Caldwell's hand, did he?
Of course he didn't. No. Big surprise. That one, wasn't it? And yeah, I'm just racking my brains for what to do with Rotherham. But let's see what you've got to say about Northampton and Exeter. I'll keep my powder dry.
Now, Ben, I went to Northampton versus Exeter towards the end of last season. I didn't actually go in. It's because I was travelling down to Wembley for the FA Cup semi-final. We stopped at Taco Bell, and I watched the game from the hill, at Sixfields.
Oh, you did? Oh, yeah. Nice.
So, and that was a game towards the end of the season. They'd both already finished mid-table. They couldn't go down. And Exeter won 2-1 with 10 men. And it looks as if Exeter have taken their good form from the end of last season into this season. And as for Northampton, Ben, it was a 1-0 away defeat, wasn't it? Last minute to Bristol Rovers this weekend, just gone. I'm going to go for another bonus point here. I'm going to go for 2 this week, because I fancy some goals. I'm going to go Northampton 2, Exeter 3.
Well, this is going to make me sound very silly now, because I haven't played my 0-0 yet, have I? And I'm looking for somewhere to play it, and I think it might be quite fun for the viewers if you go for 5 goals and I go for 0 on this one. But maybe if you'd said to Exeter you got Rotherham and Northampton the first 2 games, you take 4 points from that. Maybe it flipped the other way round in terms of the draw in the first game and the win the second. I think they'd be happy with that. Northampton would be happy to get off the mark. And I need to play my 0-0. Although, we need to say no 0-0s in League One last week, and only 1 draw as well. So maybe I need to stop playing my 0-0s, but I'm going to do it anyway. Northampton 0, Exeter 0.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? I suppose the law of averages says there should be 1 every 12 games, but there might be a week without any, and then a week with 2 or 3 0-0s.
There you go. Yeah.
There you go. Right, on to the next one, Ben. Reading versus Wigan. I'm going to call it another Premier League graveyard matchup. Reading last week, Ben, as you said, shocked the world by going 1-0 up at Birmingham. But they got a point over the line. And I tell you what, I didn't watch the full game, but I've watched the highlights. And from the first half, really big opportunities to have killed that game off. But they still got a draw. And Ruben Sellers will be happy. And as for Wigan, they were, the victims to a 1-0 away Nathan Jones defeat. I'm thinking of going quite low scoring here, Ben. It's over to you.
Well, I'm going to do exactly what you said I shouldn't do, and completely base this on the Week 1 results, which means I've got Reading as favourites because it was impressive. I know there's certain situations in football where it's kind of set up for you to spoil the party, and it was for Reading last week. Wigan obviously going under at home. I'm going to back the Reading home win then. You said low scoring. I agree. Reading 1, Wigan 0.
Yeah, there's my second
scribble. It out.
There's my second scribble. I set you up for it.
You did.
I shouldn't have said low scoring.
Schoolboy error, Matt.
I will go 2-0 Reading then. A little bit more comfortable than I thought I would. But as I said, if they'd have taken some of those chances they had in the first half, we could have been talking about a great surprise win on the opening day. So, yeah, I'm impressed by Reading. And to be honest, to both clubs this season, I want to wish them all the best because as someone who's supported a team that's had points deductions, there's nothing worse. So good luck to both Reading and Wigan this season. On to the next one, Ben. It's Rotherham versus Bristol Rovers. It was a real surprise to see Rotherham losing at Exeter. I did go for it. I went for it sort of shakingly, so I wasn't like totally convinced. I had to chuck a surprise in somewhere. But I did back Bristol Rovers to get the win against Northampton. But despite Rovers winning and Rotherham losing, Rotherham are back at home now, and we've said how powerful they should be in this league. You'd fancy them, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I've got to double down on Rotherham. I mean, the worst you'd think would be 1 point from the first two games, but no. My position this year is I'm big on Rotherham. Always am when they're in League One. So, but I went really comfortable last week. So I'll wind my neck in a little bit then. Let's say Rotherham 2, Bristol Rovers 1. Okay.
I'm going to go for a little surprise here. I'm not going to go straight for Bristol Rovers again, but I will go for the draw. If Bristol Rovers can get their game plan right, which I think will involve quite a bit of defending here, and frustrate Steve Evans, maybe they go a goal down and get another late goal, this time being an equaliser. Was it Belongo who got the late winner against Northampton last week? I will go for Bristol Rovers to snatch a point, much to the frustration of Steve Evans again. So I'll go for the 1-1. But Rotherham fans, I still have you to finish top 3 or 4, but maybe you might slip up for a second time here. And then, Ben, it's on to our old friends in Birmingham. It's Wickham versus Birmingham City. We started off last week, both backing them to win. They drew. Has that changed your mind on anything at all, or do you still think they'll be mightily strong?
No, I'm still looking at the climb towards 90-ish or 90 plus points. So, but I won't say too much because you're up first on this one.
Yeah, they didn't lose, but maybe a little reality check. I don't think there's Birmingham fans thinking they're going to win every week, but you can get dragged along the hype a little bit, and I still maintain I think Birmingham are going to win this league. But yeah, it might have grounded them a little bit. I know they'd had some really good pre-season results, which the Birmingham fans had pointed out, because I think I said there could be a case that they need to gel, and they'd said, look, we've gelled in pre-season.
You were right though, weren't you? It is going to take a bit of time, and that was very much a team that needs to gel. So as much as I don't want to go against the entire people in the comments, I think you were right.
Well, yeah, it was a slow start, but you know, like I say, I want to give you a point for the fact you'd said they'd score in the 87th minute, but I won't because you won anyway. But I did say I think Alfie May will hit the ground running. Yes, it's a penalty, but he still slotted it away. And I'll go low scoring here, Ben. It's a difficult start for Wickham, isn't it? Wrexham and Birmingham.
Very, yeah.
They gave it a good go against Wrexham. I'm going to go low scoring here, and I'll go with Alfie May to just get the only goal. I'll go Wickham 0, Birmingham 1.
You have, my friend, stolen my prediction on that one. I was going to go for Birmingham to just edge it and just get the job done and get the first win. I'm keeping my like with Rotherham. I'm keeping my position here on Birmingham for at least a month or two, for God's sake. So I'll double down, and let's go. There's going to be one where we both predict the floodgates to open and a 5-0 or something, isn't it? Not yet. Wickham so stinks of a 1-0, and you've got that one, haven't you? I'll go 2-0 then. Maybe Wickham will bomb everyone forward at the end, and they'll get a counter-attack goal right at the end. Let's go Wickham 0, Birmingham 2.
There you go. Okay, we're both going for the Blues away from home, and that makes it 2 wins from 2 in our predictions for Birmingham this season. I wonder how that's going to stack.
130 points we're both predicting for Birmingham this season.
Ben, on to the last game, which has got to be the biggest one of the weekend, and that's why I believe it's been moved to the Sunday, probably for TV. Bolton versus Wrexham. I called Bolton 2-1 last week, and we both backed Wrexham. We were both so close. It was 3-2. I'd said 4-2. You'd said 4-1. It sets up for a very tasty game here.
Yeah, and by the way, the Marriott goal for Wrexham was chef's kiss, wasn't it? Absolutely beautiful. I am going to admit that I was wrong about Bolton tailing off slightly, and they were straight back on it. So for that reason, I'm already being fickle here. I think I'm going to back Bolton to win this one. But Wrexham are good fun. They're going to bring in some EFL stalwart who's played 250 games off the bench, because they seem to have about 50 of them, don't they? Let's go both teams to score, but Bolton to have too much. Bolton 3, Wrexham 1.
Ooh, I like that. Ending on goals. I don't know if it's worth mentioning, Wrexham are going away to Sheffield United in midweek in the Carabao Cup. And knowing them, I think they'd go fairly strong. They'll want to make a statement. Could that take it out of them? Possibly. As you said, that Marriott goal was unbelievable. A crazy game. Bolton, as I say, just edged it against a decent Orient. It was the two players I'd spoken about that linked up for that first goal, Dion Charles and Aaron Collins. I agree Bolton might be slight favourites, but I will go for the Wrexham win then.
Wow.
Spice it up. I'll go Bolton 1, Wrexham 2. I think I've got Bolton to finish about 3rd or 4th this season, and I put Wrexham in 6th. And maybe if they're going to do that, they need to get some points in these difficult games. So I will end on the Wrexham win there, Ben.
It's bold.
Well, there you go. That does wrap up the predictions for another week of League One. Be sure, as always, guys, to share your predictions down in the comments. Myself and Ben like looking at what you guys have to say. Let me know how you got on in week 1 as well. And thank you, Ben. We've done another week. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, and I just want to say thank you to all the people in the comments. It's always difficult on YouTube with collaborations, you know, bringing someone across to another channel, and I felt extremely welcome, and I loved all the feedback. So thank you, everybody in the comments, and yeah, looking forward to trying to go 2 for 2, Matt, and get my second win.
You won't be invited back then, Ben. No, guys, honestly, I couldn't recommend heading over to Ben's channel enough. It's really, a lot of inspiration for my own channel. So the link is in the description. Head over to Benjamin Bloom. I'm sure you already have, but if you haven't, do make sure to get involved. And like I say, drop a like on this video, and we will see you for week 3 next week. Take care, Ben, and we'll see you in the next one, guys. Take care. Peace out.